Parshas Bechukosai. The Torah here tells us the incredible reward for those that toil in Torah. Amelim b'Torah. It says in the Torah, Im Bechukosai telechu, which Chazal interpret, and Rashi brings it, that it means Shetiyu Amelim b'Torah. You should toil in Torah. And then the Torah gives the rewards for somebody that toils in Torah. Simply in the Psukim it says there will be an abundance of food, there will be, you will go to sleep at night, shchavtem ve'ein machrid, without fear. V'cherev le'isaver bi'artzachem, a sword will not pass through your country. Tremendous rewards, tremendous rewards. Chazal go even further. Chazal tell us rewards that we can't even fathom. We can't even comprehend rewards. The Torah says, "V'hishalachti b'seichechem," I will walk among you. V'hayisi lochem lelokim, pasuk Yud Beis. And Rashi brings down Chazal. This is unfathomable. I will walk among you, Hashem says. Atayel imochem began Eden. I will walk with you in Gan Eden. We're walking together with Hashem. Ke'echad mikem, like an equal. I will be, you and I will be equal. We can't fathom this. V'lo tiyu mizdazim mimeni. You wouldn't be afraid of me. You wouldn't tremble before me. All this is a reward for those that toil in Torah. And the Chazal continue, and the Rashi brings it. Yochel leisiru mimeni. You might think that you wouldn't have to even be afraid of me. How could a person think that? But these are unfathomable. We will walk together with Hashem, like each one equal, and it's unfathomable the tremendous reward for those that toil in Torah. I want to mention what I saw from my Rebbeim, how they toiled in Torah. I was privileged to learn by Rabbi Aaron Kotler, Zeichet Tzadik Livracha, and by Hagoyin Reb Henech Leibowitz. And I'd like to tell you some of what I've seen firsthand, their tremendous toil in Torah. Regarding Reb Aaron Kotler, Zeichet Tzadik Livracha, the great Goyin and Godel Hador, I remember that Reb Aaron had a room where he learned himself, with glass doors where you could see through it, on the same floor as the Beis Medrash. That's the way it was in my days. And I remember one time I walked out into the hall there, and I see Reb Aaron sitting and learning, and Reb Aaron stood up and he started to dance. Reb Aaron started to dance, and I looked and I didn't know what was happening. Reb Aaron saw me, and he motioned to me to call a certain bacha from the Beis Medrash to come in to see him, which I did. The bacha came in, the Talmud came in from the Beis Medrash. I said, Reb Aaron wants you to speak to you. And he came in, and they sat and learned a little bit. And when the Talmud walked out, I ran over to him and I said, what is going on? Reb Aaron dancing, and all of a sudden he wants to speak to you. He told me that Reb Aaron was working on a Biur Hagra, the Vilna Gaon, for 20 years, and he couldn't understand it. And at that moment, he thought he understood what the Vilna Gaon said, Biur Hagra. And he was so elated, He was so happy, he started to dance, and he wanted to share it with one of his prior Talmidim. But we see a little bit what it means to toil in Torah. 20 years this was on his mind. 20 years this Bir HaGra was on his mind. Incredible. How Gedolim toiled in Torah. By Reb Henach, Hagoyin Reb Henach, Zeichet Tzadak Levracha, Reb Henach Leibowitz, whom I was privileged to learn by, he once told me personally that when he has to prepare a shir, he goes to sleep at night, it's like sleeping on pins and needles. Those are the words he used. It's like sleeping on pins and needles. He had to figure out that whole sugya, that whole Gemara. Everything had to fit in. How much toil he put into it. Every time he went to sleep, it was like sleeping on pins and needles. So we see here how the Gedolim understood the meaning of Bechukosai telechu. If you're a Amelim B'Torah, you have to be Amel B'Torah, and if you're Amel B'Torah, you zeiche to many, many brachas, as we mentioned before. The ultimate Amelus B'Torah, the ultimate toiling in Torah, we see from Yaakov Avinu. It says in the Torah that Vayishkav v'amokim hahu. Yaakov Avinu learned in the yeshiva of Shem ve'Ever. He was on his way to Lavan. Vayishkav v'amokim hahu, he slept in that place where he had the tremendous dreams with all the promises for the spiritual greatness and physical greatness of Klal Yisrael, with the ladder, with that famous ladder where angels were going up and down. But it says in the Torah, Vayishkav b'amokim hahu. He slept in that place. Chazal, and Rashi is on the spot. Rashi brings that Chazal, that all the 14 years that Yaakov Avinu was in the Beis Medrash of Shem and Eva, Loi shochav, that's the wording of Chazal, brought down in Rashi. He didn't sleep. He slept in that place, it says, Vayishkav v'amokim hahu, he slept in that place. But all 14 years that he was in the Beis Medrash of Shem and Eva, he didn't sleep. And the Mefarshim explain, how do you really survive without sleeping? The lotion of the Mefarshim to explain Rashi is that when he went to sleep, the Mefarshim explain, he didn't sleep on a bed, a shinas keva. When it says in Chazal that for 14 years he didn't sleep, it means he didn't sleep on a bed, a permanent sleep, but he was constantly learning Torah, umisnamnem ktsas. Sometimes he had to doze off. But he didn't really go to bed, a shinas keva, for 14 years. This is the ultimate Amel B'Torah. So this is the word that we must devote ourselves and dedicate ourselves to learn Torah with amelus, like Rabbaran Zachin Ravacha, who 20 years was thinking about a kasha that he had on the Bir HaGra. Reb Henach, every time he went to sleep, it was on pins and needles, because he had to come up with answers to figure out the Sugyas HaGemara. And the ultimate was Yaakov Avinu, the patriarch of Klal Yisrael, who didn't sleep in a bed, a permanent sleep, for 14 for 14 years. Didn't sleep in permanent bed, just sat and learned and dozed when he had to do. Misnam named K'tzas. The Eibishter should help us that we should be zeicher to know that the secret of happiness, of attaining the highest levels of physical and spiritual levels, is through Amelas Torah. This is the button to press. This is what the Torah itself prescribes for us to have ruchnius and gashmius. We should be zeicher to this. Amen v'amen.